Growing up, my brother Luke was the golden boy, football captain, homecoming king, scholarship to a state university. You name it, he nailed it. Me? I was the sensitive one, the kid who stayed in his room sketching or helping mom bake. So, every holiday gathering, the difference between us wasn't just obvious. It was on display. Luke's a real man, our dad once said, clinking beers with him at Thanksgiving. Built like me, strong, got goals. Then glancing at me. And then there's Nate. I laughed it off like I always did. Luke married young, to a woman named Erin. She was sharp, graceful, and surprisingly warm to me, even when Luke would cut me off mid-sentence or make some joke about me still being single and working at a laptop all day. I'm a freelance UX designer. Not flashy, but it pays better than people think. Erin always seemed restrained, like she was trying to keep the peace. I didn't see them much for a while. Luke moved 2 hours north for a new job in corporate sales. We texted now and then, but the calls stopped. Then last summer, Mom broke her leg, and we all ended up at the same house again. Luke, Erin, and me, taking shifts to help her out. That's when things started to feel different. One night I found Erin in the kitchen long after everyone went to bed. She was cleaning a plate that was already spotless. "You okay?" I asked. She jumped, clearly startled. "Yeah, just couldn't sleep." She hesitated, then quietly asked, "Can I ask you something? Hypothetically?" "Sure. If someone wanted to leave, like really leave, but felt trapped, what would you say to them?" I stared at her. The weight in her voice wasn't hypothetical at all. Before I could answer, we heard footsteps. Luke walked in, shirtless, yawning. "What's this? Midnight therapy hour?" He, said, grinning at me like I was pathetic. Then he turned to Erin, a little sharper. "Come to bed." She dried her hands and followed him without a word. I stood there staring at the spotless plate. Something wasn't right. After that night in the kitchen, things shifted between Erin and me. She wasn't flirty, not at all. But there was a quiet trust. Like I was the only person in that house who saw her, really saw her. Luke remained oblivious. Or maybe he didn't care. He'd interrupt her constantly, belittle her ideas at dinner. One night, she made homemade lasagna for all of us. Luke took one bite and said, "Not bad. Could use more salt. I guess you're still learning." I was shocked. Erin said nothing. Later that night, I caught her crying in Mom's laundry room. "Erin, don't," she said quickly, wiping her face. "Please don't say anything. He doesn't hit me, not physically." The implication of that word, physically, made me sick. The next day, Luke cornered me in the garage while I was organizing some boxes. "You always hanging around my wife these days?" he said, trying to make it sound like a joke. "I'm just helping Mom, and I talk to her because she talks back without being a jerk." He stepped closer. "You've always had this weird emotional thing going on. Maybe if you acted more like a man, you'd have a family of your own instead of sniffing around mine." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. "A man? You mean like you? Who thinks strength means shutting people down?" "See, this is why no one takes you seriously," he said, brushing past me. I didn't say it then, but it was the last time I let him talk to me that way. 2 weeks later, Erin messaged me. "Can we talk?" "Not here." I drove an hour to meet her at a diner off the interstate. She was already there, hands wrapped around a cold cup of coffee. "I want out," she said without preamble. "But I don't have anywhere to go. He's cut me off from my parents, my friends, and he's always watching my bank account." I nodded slowly. "You're not alone. You don't have to do this by yourself." She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw relief. Not total, but real. That night, we made a plan. I didn't know yet how messy it would get, or how far Luke would go when he found out. Over the next month, Erin and I coordinated everything behind Luke's back. She slowly moved her essential documents into a safe deposit box I helped her open. I connected her with a divorce attorney I trusted, one who specialized in emotionally abusive relationships. Quietly, she began job hunting too, using my address on her resume. Luke noticed something was off, but he misread it completely. One night at Mom's, while Aaron was showering, he cornered me again. "You know, I always felt bad for you. No girl ever took you seriously. But Aaron, she's out of your league, man. Even if I dumped her, she'd never look at someone like you." He chuckled, but there was an edge to it, like he was testing me. "Maybe if you spent less time being her emotional tampon, you'd actually get somewhere in life." I didn't take the bait. Not this time. "Keep underestimating people. Luke, it's gonna catch up with you." He rolled his eyes. "You sound like a therapist. Or a girl." There it was again. That toxic idea he clung to. That emotions equaled weakness. 3 weeks later, the exit plan was in motion. Aaron had accepted a job in a different city, one that offered temporary housing and benefits. She'd be leaving on a Monday morning, the same morning Luke was flying out for a sales conference. She packed 2 bags and hid them in my trunk during a visit. Everything else, she said, she could live without. But the morning of her departure, things went sideways. Luke's flight was canceled due to weather. He walked back into the house just as she was zipping up her last bag. "Where are you going?" he asked, casually at first. Aaron froze, then quietly, "I'm leaving you, Luke." Silence. "What the hell are you talking about?" He laughed. "Is this some kind of drama Nate put in your head?" She stood her ground. "No. This is me deciding I deserve better." He looked at me like I'd stabbed him. "You think this makes you a man, Nate? Turning my wife against me?" I stepped forward. "No. Being a man means helping someone who's hurting, not being the reason they are." His fists clenched, but he didn't swing. He just stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. Aaron walked to the car without looking back. As I started the engine, she said softly, "I kept waiting for someone to save me." "I didn't think it would be you." I smiled. "Neither did I. But here we are." We got Erin safely to her new place that same day. It was a small, furnished apartment attached to the corporate office she'd be working at. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. No one yelling, no one watching her phone, no one turning every conversation into a power play. As I helped her carry in the last bag, she stopped me at the door. "You know," she said, "he always told me you were soft, that you'd never do anything with your life." She smiled. "He has no idea how strong you are." That stuck with me more than I expected. Back home, Luke tried to spin the whole thing. He told the family Aaron had a mental break and ran off, that she'd been ungrateful and emotionally unstable. But no one really bought it. Not after they started seeing Aaron post updates online about her new job, new city, and smiling face. She wasn't broken. She was free. My parents pulled me aside one night. "Did you know she was planning to leave?" my dad asked cautiously. I nodded. "I helped her." Silence. "Good," my mom said to my surprise. "Someone needed to." Luke didn't speak to me for months after that. And honestly, I didn't miss it. The real full circle moment came about a year later. Aaron was settled, thriving. We still talked now and then. She was dating someone kind, who listened more than he spoke. I, on the other hand, was halfway through a counseling degree I never thought I'd pursue, inspired in large part by what I saw her go through. One day, Luke showed up at my apartment. He looked tired, older, humbled. "I lost everything," he said. "My job, my house, Aaron. I didn't think she'd actually leave." He paused, then added, "Were you really trying to help her? Or was this some revenge thing?" I met his eyes and told him the truth. "I wasn't trying to destroy your life, Luke. You were doing that all by yourself. I just helped someone escape before you took her down with you." He nodded slowly. Did he change after that? I don't know, but I did. For a long time I thought being a man meant being loud, tough, in control. Now I know it means being steady when someone else is falling apart. It means speaking up, even when you're told you're too sensitive. It means using your strength, not to dominate, but to protect. My brother never thought I was man enough. Turns out, that's exactly what made me the man his wife could count on.